You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry, ChillyBoy Chillson, and this is my review for Strange World. Now, before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my latest videos. Strange World is a 2022 animated action adventure film from Disney Animated Studios that follows a family famous for their explorer expeditions who have to go on their most important expedition to date when their civilization is on the verge of collapse, when their energy source is corrupted. The film stars the vocal talents of Jake Gyllenhaal, Dennis Quaid, Gabrielle Union, and Lucy Liu. If you have not heard of Strange World, if you did not know Disney was releasing their annual Thanksgiving time animation this year, well, you're probably not alone because Disney pretty much just ignored this film, didn't advertise it, has swept it under the rug pretty much, has overall kind of just swept this one under the rug. I don't think I've seen Disney quite sabotage their own animated film to this degree in quite some time. Now, they've done it to Pixar quite often recently, actually, but their own, no, no, no. Needless to say, well, I'm not looking forward to all the think pieces on the box office and diversity that are soon to come, when in fact, Disney themselves are fully to blame in their lack of promotion for the film itself. And honestly, people don't even know the film is coming out. They don't know what it's about. They haven't heard of it. So, how could they know that it has quite the queer representation, that it has this beautifully diverse cast? In turn, how could that be the reason those folks didn't come out to see it? Yeah, we'll probably be following up on this topic when those box office receipts are released. I'll just have to be ready to go, fists up, when I see all them incel thumbnails flooding the timeline. But outside of that, I saw the trailer for Strange World sometimes, and it looked fun. I love fantasy, I love weird creatures, so it seemed up my alley. I did not know the central teenage character was part of the community, part of the alphabet mafia, until really recently. I didn't even really realize this stacked cast was involved. Ultimately, I think Strange World is a fun film. Certainly not the best, most memorable animation I've seen, but a fun enough adventure film. If you enjoy those old school, just action adventure flicks, this pays heavy homage to those. And I think in turn, you'll probably have a good time with this one. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, the animation is stunning. I know this is just a given with Disney and Pixar animation at this point, but once again, they outdo themselves. The texture on hair is so freaking mind blowing anymore. I was just shook watching it in this film. And unlike some of their previous work, I actually think Strange World really does a great job of blending cartoonish features, really exaggerated, cute animation style with the hyper realized texturing, and it blends them really well. For example, like Searcher, who's voiced by Jake Gyllenhaal, really kind of exaggerated Disney looking facial features, but then his beard and his actual hair, the movement, the texture, oh, it's amazing. And this world is so creative and so beautiful. The colors just pop off the screen. The creatures are really fun, and it is a visual feast. I also loved our vocal talent, specifically Jabuki Young White, who plays Ethan. Oh, he was so good. What a breath of fresh air. He brings this really earnest performance. He's the best character in the whole film. And I'm not just saying that because he's part of the mafia. I genuinely found him to be the most interesting, the most likable, a really endearing character at the center of all of this madness. I also think Jake Gyllenhaal is a lot of fun. I'm surprised he hasn't done more voice work because Gyllenhaal has this like really kind of fun, expressive voice naturally, and he delivers that here. And then we have over the top Dennis Quaid, which works so well for animation. Once again, I'm shocked Quaid has not been involved in more voiceover work because when he just has fun and gives us that over the top gruff guy type of voice, it works great, and he is a lot of fun. You can tell he enjoyed recording this role. The gay whisperer, the gay mama herself, Miss Gabrielle Union, is a delight. The complete opposite parental unit from what we saw in the inspection. She is this warm presence here. Obviously, I enjoyed the representation all across the board. And this is what's really gonna make those neckbeard incels of YouTube and the internet world's heads explode. Not only do we have an openly accepted queer character at the center stage, we're also focusing on an interracial couple who are seen kissing. What? An Asian woman is the president of this fantasy land? What? And our entire background, a cast of characters, is this beautiful rainbow of different people. And guess what? None of it feels forced. People always scream out agenda this, agenda that. None of this feels like an agenda at all. It just is what it is. Even sexuality is not the point. It's just there, like any other love interest, like any other teenager who has a crush on someone. It plays out in the exact same fashion. The parents are just there. None of it is the point of the film itself. None of it even plays into the actual plot of the film or is even mentioned. People just accept it as normal. Imagine what a novel concept that is. I also loved Splat. I thought Splat was so cute. He also brings most all of the comedy to the film. Him and to an extent, actually, Searcher for me, but he was so funny. I loved this little amoeba blue blob character. He doesn't even speak English, but he was so flippin' cute. And I'm going to leave off our positives with something that is both a positive and a negative, and that is the environmental message of the entire film. It's called Strange World, and we're discovering this strange land with these unusual creatures. You can expect some sort of an environmental message, but I wasn't expecting it to be as heavy an allegory for global warming as it was. And I thought they did it in a very creative way, an interesting way, if you will. But just because it's interesting doesn't mean it fully worked. It's going to sound kind of weird, but I think it's both too on the nose, but also too vague. I don't know that it's direct enough for target audience children to quite grasp what it's saying, but it's also very much on the nose, particularly as the big reveal happens. And the messaging post the big reveal is also quite strange. It doesn't really offer a solution. It doesn't offer a way forward when it comes to global warming that's really obtainable. The solution presented here is not. No. I also think there are just one too many ideas in here. So we're dealing with this insane world and the global warming messaging. We're also dealing with generational trauma, which coincidentally is the new Disney go-to when it comes to thematic messaging in their films. Because, well, that's like the message in all of their films anymore is generational trauma. I do like this one focuses on male generational trauma because they have gone heavy on female generational trauma recently. But we have all of these different familial dynamics. Then we have the relationship dynamics between all of our different characters. We have the world itself and the exploration of this world, finding your purpose. I mean, there's a lot. There is a lot going on. Too much is stuffed into this film. I really wish we had streamlined it down to picking one of those messages, and the film would have been better for it. I also think the pacing and the music were just a tad off for me. The music obviously is paying heavy homage to old school action adventures, Indiana Jones, the whole bit. Never quite felt authentic to the film we were watching for me. And I think that aided in the pacing issues because the transitions and just the flow, particularly in the first half of the story, is awkward. It doesn't really have a nice natural rhythm to it. We start to get there, particularly when Splat arrives, I feel like, is when the film hits a nicer stride. But that first act really takes a minute to find its ground. The Strange World is a perfectly solid adventure film for the whole family. It offers some great representation, a nice message, though a message that doesn't fully work in a film that doesn't fully work. End of the day, I think this is a good film, one that with just a couple of minor tweaks here or there could have been a great film. Far from the best Disney has had to offer in recent years, but still a worthwhile watch for the family. So that is my review for Strange World. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Strange World or have you already checked it out? Let me know your thoughts either in the comment section down below or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye.